Hey guys, my name is Nima. I'm the founder of Arvanza. We're a service-based company that bolts on to D2C brands looking to enhance and scale their Amazon business in a very profitable manner, while alleviating a lot of the pain and suffering that comes alongside running an Amazon business. So pretty much on the SellerMate front and how that works with what we're doing at Arvanza, this story kind of starts with our hunt for looking for a SaaS platform that can be added into our tool chest of ways we build out the Amazon businesses for clients. Now, we onboarded with SellerMate, I think around January, February, around 6 months ago. And prior to that, we had been in the market for 12 months, testing, demos, conversations, just seeing what was hopefully going to be the right fit for the needs of our clients and our internal teams. Now, there were two main factors that really allowed us to cross the finish line and put that name on the contract with SellerMate. The first one was, does it mesh with our internal workflows, our PPC needs, our PPC strategies, our data needs, and our desire to really know more at a deeper level for our brands? And then B, does it actually drive the results for our clients? Too many times there's been different, I would say, platforms plugging into in-house teams or agencies that almost cannibalize the efforts that were done up until then, losing organic ranking, losing profitability, stagnating top line growth, because it was more of a set it and forget it model. And we were looking for something that was, yes, going to improve workflows, improve the output internally, and allow our team to have more time to spend with client strategy sessions, looking at new features rolling out from Amazon to stay ahead of the curve, but actually driving meaningful impact for the client brands in the long term. Not something that was going to fix a single problem and just plug a leak, but really build on itself to improve the SOPs and workflows we've built out internally and allow the actual results to speak for themselves. So in order to do that, we got to get our feet wet, of course. And what really stood out right out of the gates with the initial demo was the in-depth understanding of our needs as a company for our clients. And the team had extensive hands-on experience themselves. The SellerMate team knew what we were talking about. They understood the lingo. They understood the language. They really knew the pain points that a lot of people were having coming into 2025 with a new outlook on how Amazon should be ran. And it gave me the confidence to get a couple brands plugged in as a demo. So we chose two brands in particular to plug in, each of them spending at least $100,000 a month in the US market alone, to really figure out how quickly things could go left or right. And right away, we were given Loom recordings of how things should be done and how things should be set up. We were working very closely with the team twice a week, even in some cases in the first couple weeks, to understand the platform on how to set up automations, bulk operations, and build out custom dashboards attuned with the strategy for each client. It wasn't a one size fits all. And that was my concern is, hey, is this going to be a platform that really works with, a certain tier of client, a certain category on Amazon? Or is it really that customizable to be built into each unique strategy per client? So within 2 weeks, we started seeing some great results, specifically on SKUs that were struggling to get organic ranking, SKUs that were struggling to find that efficient level of a cost based on contribution margin, and then overall just extracting new levels of data to then compose new PPC tactics for that specific brand. And what I mean is understanding when to spend, how much to spend, finding the hours and the minutes that were the most efficient, finding the keywords per keyword per day that were the most efficient. And it just unlocked a whole new way of going deeper and wider. We essentially found there was no limit to how much data we could extract. And the SellerMate team was willing to move just as quickly as us to start fine-tuning the needs of our dashboards based on what the clients were hoping to see results-wise. So after that, we figured out, you know what? Let's plug and play this. Let's see how it goes. And then as I assumed, it not only improved our workflows, but within 2 weeks, we saw probably 10 hours given back to each brand manager in the sense of their workflows with their operations team as a whole in their pod, in extracting data, working on the marketing strategy, and fine-tuning bulk operations in the advertising platform. And that was really a result of the tool doing what it was supposed to do based on the inputs we were giving it. The intuitive nature of the actual platform itself really, cut out the learning curve for our team. It made it a lot easier to integrate into our SOPs and build out new SOPs essentially that work in tandem with SellerMate. And right away, our team started loving it. It was huge. It was a new way to build out strategy. A new level of conversations were unlocked with our clients. And then the results, of course, spoke for themselves. As a whole, the portfolio, we just saw an increase in overall performance. And I would say that a big part of that did come from the hands-on approach that SellerMate team had given us in the beginning. Now, the tools out there are great. There's a bunch of great tools. And at the end of the day, it just really comes down to how well you leverage their abilities. And not knowing how to use a tool makes it completely useless, in my opinion. So being able to really dissect the ins and outs of all the different features, all the different reporting components of SellerMate allowed our team to start customizing their new weekly attack plan for their brands. And as I just mentioned, the overall lift in our portfolio was phenomenal. Clients were seeing great results. Now they were seeing even better results. They were finding new ways to win organic placements. They're finding new niches that we could target for their very unique products. So that's where we've landed thus far, and I'm super excited to continue working with the SellerMate team. They're very data-driven. They're very innovative. They're extremely up to speed with what's actually happening in the e-commerce industry, the Amazon platform itself, and ultimately how agencies, how service providers, and how brands are managing their ad accounts. Obviously, it's never going to be one size fits all, but being able to move quick and maneuver the needs for the needs of the brands is something that's continuously stood out to me. So very excited thus far, very impressed, and just looking forward to the future.